and Mind Crypto here. I hope we're all having a wonderful day. I had a wonderful weekend watching the big fight. Didn't really go the way I wanted it, but the best man won. But hoping for a rematch in October between Fury and Usyk, surely to be another absolute banger. But let's get on with the task in hand. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of this is financial advice. And none of the information that's provided in this video should ever be seen as a signal to buy or to sell. And we look at the crypto bubbles as usual. As we can see, Quant is currently valued at $95, still under that $100 stable mark. We can see we've dropped one rank to 75, market cap of $1.15 billion. Volume down to $12 million over the last 24 hours, but that could be simply because of the weekend. We're seeing the market is looking rather red right now. But again, as you know, this does not bother me. This is just a short-term blip. I believe we're going to see bigger numbers at some point. But that is my personal opinion. If we move over to Crypto Quant for the on exchange reserves, we can see all the exchanges. We're currently seeing 1.157 million currently sitting on exchanges, slightly higher from my last video. But if we look at the spot exchanges, we can also see it's still sitting at that 250,000 mark, continuing just to go sideways, which is absolutely fine with me. Now, we also noticed this. I saw this morning, just an update quoting my last post from the 8th of May 2024. Binance now holding 654,000 quant, which is an increase of nearly 22,000 over the last few weeks. Seems to be a lot of inflows at the moment, increasing sell pressure short term. But as I always say, I'm still very positive long term. So with this being said, we've also got to think about what Quant has done over the last few months. It's absolutely huge what's happened over the last few months. We can see Atlantic Council backs SATP, Project Agora, SATP Unified Ledger, Japan CBDC inspired by Rosalind. Israel Digital Shekel uses SATP. Israel CBDC Sandboxes uses SATP. Thailand CBDC uses two-tier API model. Digital Dollar Project backing SATP. Key Technology alongside R3 in the UK RLN. Circle USDC referencing Quant's patent. The CAICT China referencing Quant's patent. Quant is part of the panel of the Citi, Nexty, and HSBC and Deutsche Bank EBA Day. We've got IMF's ASAP digital currency model uses SATP, updated overledger pricing service models, EY expansion to OCM using standardized APIs, BlackRock's partner securitized quotes Gilbert and settle requests to join IETF SATP working group. Now, there's probably a lot more than that. And that's just for starters. And that's just in such a short period of time over the last few months that Quant has been named in all these things, which is absolutely huge. But we also see this from Tokenizer. 2 weeks till Project Agora is ready to take off. There's 2 weeks left for the financial institutions to file to participate in Agora. Agora involves 7 central banks and uses the BIS unified ledger. In other words, Quant standards are in play. But as we look further in this, we're getting some more insights out of Project Agora we hadn't heard before. With 7 central banks involved, this is arguably the largest CBDC project yet. What's also interesting is how each of these central banks are already connected to Quant in some forms. We've got Europe, EU Commission backs SATP and TC307. Switzerland, Swiss Digital Exchange, SDX. England, Project Rosalind, Government, UK, and RLN. US, CEDA, UBIN uses SATP plus Atlantic Council. Korea, EKRW with BIS uses SATP. Mexico, alliance member within LACchain. Japan, EN uses Rosalind as inspiration. So getting all these central banks that operate on a unified ledger is a project like this is no easy task. Hence, this is why Project Agora isn't just like any other proof of concept CBDC we've seen. It's arguably the first of its kind, the next evolution. As we see, the BIS states that Agora is not purely a proof of concept, rather there are intentions to take it beyond that stage. Make no mistake, currently this is still experimental and researching phases of proper findings of CBDC infrastructure, but the end goal is to create something viable and ready for production. In fact, it states that other CBDC related initiatives like the UK RLN, US RSN, and EU's wholesale DLT settlement trials all tie into the greater picture of Agora. As we know, Quant is already involved in these at different levels, from aligning on standards founded by Quant in the EU and US frameworks to directly being a tech contributor of the UK RLN. For the past 2 years, we've seen rapid progress from CBDCs in and out of the BIS. but Project Agora really seems to be one that might take the cake, just by looking at participants and realizing that it's the first to utilize the unified ledger at scale. Agora definitely feels different compared to the rest. Quant has really solidified the API tiered framework in BIS CBDCs over the past years. And it's all coming together now. And as we can see this from Tony McLaughlin, Project Agora call for participation, and this was via the BIS. And then we can see this from the BIS. Project Agora, launched by BIS, a group leading central banks, and the Institute of International Finance, is inviting the private sector to join its exploration of how tokenization can enhance the functioning of wholesale cross-border payments. Project Agora is seeking to bring together a diverse group of regulated financial institutions with a significant role in wholesale cross-border payments from the 7 participating jurisdictions and currency areas, representing various business models. Private institutions are expected to contribute technical expertise to the platform design and work together with participating central banks to test various use cases. Applying institutions are expected to have experience with digital innovation initiatives, and this was liked by the man himself, Gilbert Verdian. And if we move over to the Ledger Insights, we can see here applications for central bank tokenization. Project Agora close in 2 weeks. Today, the BIS unveiled the application process. As we know, while Agora is a public-private partnership, it is the private sector that will fund the work through participation fees. A likely rationale is that the private sector, founded by Swift, the initiative is first to explore the BIS concept of a unified ledger seriously. It is coordinated by the BIS and the Institute of International Finance. Although participants need to be IIF members, the 7 central banks include Europe, France, Japan, Korea, Mexico, Switzerland, England, and the US, represented by New York Innovation Center. In the case of the EU, the applicant needs an account with any Eurosystem central bank. Agora will explore the use of tokenized deposits and tokenized central bank money for cross-border payments using smart contracts. 4 work streams include business requirements and technology, legal, and communications. Applicants will be assessed based on their footprint in global payments and domestically expertise in innovation projects, and the experience of executives will represent the institution. However, there is a desire to ensure a diverse group of participants. Agora isn't just a POC. The application form emphasizes that Agora is not purely a proof of concept with the intent to progress beyond that stage. Now, that is important. However, it's also described as an experimental project. It's almost like giving it one hand, taking away with the other, but it's not purely a proof of concept. So they're looking to take this forward. Several of the relevant institutions are already participating in initiatives that cross over with Agora. For example, the Regulated Liability Network project in the UK, and we know who's part of that, Quant, a regulated settlement network initiative in the United States. Now, we have thoughts that Quant could be involved in that too, but that is speculative at the moment. And the EU started its wholesale DLT settlement trials this week. Nonetheless, given the involvement of 7 central banks, there's likely to be plenty of candidates. Now, look at the writing on the wall. Everything that I talked about earlier with regards to what's happened in such a short period of time. There's probably lots more that I didn't describe, but I am here, I am waiting, I am patient, and I'm sure many of you are too. I hope you like this update. Just a quick update. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. Also, drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts and anything that I missed. There you go, guys. All the best, and I'll catch you later.